Okay guys, we're inside of Helldivers 2 and things seem to be spicing up and probably not in a good way. We've got a few things that haven't been announced yet but have definitely been the case and done. So it's really weird that they haven't announced anything on it. We've got an update to the major order and we have got some stuff to cover through the Reddit. A very interesting day today as Steam has also had a bit of a pickup and we're going to talk about that one in a moment. If you haven't already though, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be greatly appreciated. On top of that, check out our sponsor, Instant Gaming, the platform where you guys can purchase pretty much any game that you'd like across a platform of PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch, and all for a discounted price. So right now you can pick up Helldivers for £25. Dirt bloody cheap. They buy it in bulk from the developers and sell it in a cheaper format. It's a win-win-win and it's safe and legal. Head down to the description, click the link, and you guys can get involved right now and purchase your cheaper games in an easier format. That being said though, let's dive on into today's video. So getting through the things that we need to talk about. They haven't announced this on the Discord. They haven't put this one up on Twitter. Really weird to see. Although in the bottom right corner on your dispatches, you will have a couple of briefs. So we've got this one right here stating, intelligence brief, a new strain of flying terminids has suddenly appeared across all terminid planets with no prior warning or indication of any kind. While the Ministry of Intelligence has always known this was a possibility, the abruptness of the evolution indicates a high possibility of dissident concealment. The deployment of termicide was fortuitously timed. Doubtlessly it averted an even worse evolution. Helldivers are advised to exterminate those mutations whenever encountered. So essentially what we saw on the matter was exactly this, and this is what has happened. It didn't mutate absolutely everything and change it the way that we kind of thought that it would, and like almost give like a hyper breed on some planets. What it's now done is enabled the Shriekers to be across every terminid planet now, which is a bit of a nightmare, although they are pretty easy to take out. They fly in the air, they swoop down and hit you. They can be a bit of a nightmare as they swarm in hives, so there is quite a lot of them, but they take one or two shots from a normal primary weapon to knock them down. So you just have to make sure that you fairly accurate, even though everything on the ground is still coming to attack you. Next up, we have got another briefing from the dispatch page, which again hasn't been announced in the Discord or on the Twitter, which is baffling because this one was quite a big one, but it states right here, recent systems security breach has resulted in galactic war tables displaying inaccurate information. The breach has been addressed and all systems have been returned to normal operation. Any discrepancies are to be considered the result of a dissident misinformation. Rest assured that the parties responsible have been identified, arrested, tried, and executed. So now the war table is obviously back on scratch, although we now are at a point where we're probably not going to complete this major order. As it stands, we have obviously taken Estanu, and that one took around a day to do. The same with Fori Prime. As it stands, as the point of recording, we're at 94%, at which point we'd need to make our way over to Hellmire and be able to break that one down before we got to Zagon Prime. So we have still got 2 and a bit planets to liberate in the space of 19 hours at the point of recording. This is definitely not going to be a doable situation unless every Helldiver jumps on deck right now, old and new, and we all just attack it all in one go. But even then, it's going to be an absolute stretch. So I'd be surprised if we managed to get this major order done whatsoever. Now, before we get into anything else, if you guys haven't already, make sure you enter the giveaway we've got going on for a copy of Helldivers 2. And if you've already got the game, then we're going to be giving you guys the money equivalent in super credits. It's really simple to get hold of it, though. You head down to the description, comment section, and comment a red heart and a yellow heart. This is obviously for the war table, which was absolutely knackered. So get a red heart and a yellow heart in the comment section down below, and it'll enter you in. We'll announce it on the community page and in the Discord of 7,500 people down in the description, so you guys obviously know and keep in contact with who it is that is winning these giveaways. Overall, though, the game is in a bit of a weird one. We've just had the patch update, which addressed quite a lot. If you guys haven't seen that, we did address the video at the time. You'll find that one on the channel. But since that point, it seems to be causing quite a lot of issues. We're seeing quite a lot more like negative reviews on this, especially over on Steam, and for people who are on PC, they seem to be having a lot more problems, especially with the crashes. The crashes are causing for a lot of issues, and I don't really know as to what it is that's happening with it. They've not really given out too much of a contact, but it's freezing mid-game or it's freezing at the end of missions, which means that there is obviously no completion rate and or loot that comes from the end of that. So all your XP ends up getting wasted and everything doesn't really run the way that you kind of want it to run. So it makes the major order even harder when we don't have enough time to really complete it anyway, let alone having a point where we're not able to even complete some missions on some parts. It's a little bit discerning, and I'm a little bit concerned as to what's going to be happening with it. Like I said, they haven't addressed anything, so I'm really hoping that something comes up soon. Now, I'm under no illusion that they obviously are working on things, and you do have to have some level of respect for the development team of this game alongside every other game going. There was an actual post that addressed all of this, and I do kind of understand exactly what they're saying. Although you probably are experiencing some crashes and some freezes and some issues about the game right now, the devs are not automatons. Like, you don't need to expect them to be like robots. This post right here with 1.3 thousand upvotes states the game has been out for a month. Have some effing patience. They're working their rear ends off. Just because you spent $40 on a game doesn't mean that the devs are now your slaves. They've been working on this game for years. You probably didn't even know this IP existed 2 months ago. Yes, the game has bugs and it crashes, but it almost seems like a lot of you people don't understand that there's like one dev for every 4,000 players. Keep in mind that human beings need rest to work on the game, and this dev team has been the best dev team in ages. They give us the love, respect we deserve, so let's return the favor. Just have some patience. It's really useful to have it in this thing we call life. There's plenty of other games to play in the meantime and plenty of grass to touch. Just imagine a year from now what amazing content we will have. Now, I do agree with this in some sorts, but like every other game, I also disagree with this. Are the developers really good at what they are doing? Yes, 100%. This is probably the best development team that I have seen in about 4 or 5 years of being in the scene. The gaming scene's got really, really weird just recently, and these guys are absolutely smashing it out of the park. Even though there are problems, they're completely transparent. They're there for everything that they obviously have done wrong and things that they're doing right. And if they do agree with what they've done, even though we don't, they stick by their guns and they'll explain why they've done what they've done. And then we address it and go round it and kind of just play alongside it. This team has done so much good with this game, and I think it shows in the numbers and the love from it. So make sure we give them a little bit of love back. It's not difficult. You just don't need to be horrible to them because your game's had a bit of a crashing issue over the last few days. It's okay. The game's still going to be there. It's still going to be there. You've definitely got your money's worth. But irrelevant to it, we're going to end the video on probably one of the highest upvoted Helldivers 2 posts I've seen, and it is the funniest thing ever because it's just so true. States right here, this is one of the truest titles I've ever read. Helldivers 2 devs refuse to turn off friendly fire because it's funny. Accidentally carpet bombing friends is hilarious. And it's so damn true. It actually brought the fun back in it for me when it came to the friendly fire aspect. Games that would do friendly fire sometimes do it wrong, and it just doesn't work in the same concept, and people get really angry, myself included. With this game, for some reason, even though I die, it's actually hilarious getting a cluster bomb get dropped on top of my head, as long as it's done in the right manner, and it's not every 2 seconds. Obviously, these things have lines, but it is a funny aspect, and it brings quite a lot of humor to the game for what it is. So that post is definitely true, and it seems like 25,000 of you guys definitely agree with it. So all the links are down in the description as per usual. Make sure you go down and check everything out. We've got a lot going on in this game at the moment, and I'm going to be uploading again later on. It'll be a late one tonight for you guys so that you can keep in tune with everything that's happening here in the scene. Thank you again for watching. Appreciate your faces. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the clouds.